All right, Damien at Greenhorn Gardening again, and we're going to talk about finding the proper pump for your aquaponic system. And I'm at that stage now where I'm just about ready to need to buy the pump, and I want to let you guys know about a resource that I found called the aquaponicstore.com, and bought the book there that you've heard me talk about on some previous Project Fishbed videos. And about to the point where I want to buy a pump. It's a very pretty well-built website, things like that. Fast service, those kinds of things. And I'm just coming over here to look at pumps. And one of the things that, is that I've decided I definitely am going to use a bell siphon system. And one of the things that I know is I've got a single 275 gallon tank. I've thought about dividing that by two, just so I can, have one as a sump, one as a whatnot, and then from there going to, oh my goodness, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired, but that's about 137 gallons, and if I wanted to pump that many gallons through the system every hour, I'd need at least 147 a gallon per hour pump. Absolutely minimal. And then you got to deal with things like head height. How much is it going to have to pump vertically? If it's going to have to pump 4 feet straight up, just to get out of the, for instance, if it has to pump straight up just to get out of the, for instance, the sump tank, then, well, that's, you're going to have to calculate that in. And, how many grow beds do you have? And there's a whole lot of factors that come into play. What I've decided to do is I'm going to get 1,000 gallon per hour pump. I mean, if what I may do is get two 275 gallon IBC totes, one for the tank, one for the pump, one for the fish tank, one for the sump tank, and then the one, then have the 55 gallon swirl filter, and then the grow beds themselves. And the reason I want to go with 1,000 gallon per hour is simply because even if I choose the option here where I only have, 100, I'm going to have about 140 gallon tank or so, and I'm probably going to need way more water than that in the fish tank. But the whole point is that the more gallons per hour you're pumping through the system, the better it's going to be, the fresher the water is going to be. So that's probably what I'm going to be going for, is an Active Aqua 1,000 gallon per hour pump. I'm not necessarily going to go with this brand, but I'm definitely going to go for something about 1,000 gallon per hour, because over the course of time, just like anything with moving parts, it's not going to perform as well over the course of time. It's going to degrade. Pipes are eventually going to have stuff in them, and you have to clean them out, and they're not going to flow as quickly as they were when they first did. But the thing I love about this pump is that it's submersible. I can just put it directly down there in the water, and it does just fine. And I'm going to put the pump in the sump tank so that it's not having to, pump all that fish poop. The swirl filter takes the fish poop out, and the water that's coming out of the swirl filter will dump in the sump tank. So the water that's in the sump tank is actually free of the biosolids, and those biosolids will just go straight into my regular garden for the worms and stuff to compost. And so the thing is that I'm going to use this in outdoor use. It's oil free, so I don't have to worry about oil leaking out into the fish bed, and that's not good. And magnet drive, and so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I would recommend, if any, I've heard it recommended that if you're doing anything more than about 100 gallon system, that you're really going to need something like something like this. You're going to need a nice beefy pump, something that's got some muscle on it, got some good head height on it here. If you look at the head height here, it can pump as high as almost 13 feet straight up. If you just hooked a pipe to it 13 feet tall, it'll pump that high, and it'll just won't pump anymore because it won't have any strength. And so if you're having to pump up see, the thing is that I wish I could zoom in, but right here is about 1,000 gallon per hour. This is 4 feet tall. Well, that 1,000 gallon per hour pump, having to pump 4 feet straight up, is all of a sudden looking like just 600 gallons per hour. Do you see how you're losing stuff? So if you've got a 4 foot tall tank like I may have with my sump tank, that 1,000 gallon pump only looks like about a 600 gallon pump. See, and so what do, right? So you need to get as much muscle in there as you can, because by the time you add in the height, the head height, and then the fact that it's not going to perform as well over the course of its lifetime, it's going to, just like anything, and pipes are going to get, a little bit, clogged, or whatever over the course of time. Yeah, that 600 gallon pumps may start looking like 400 gallon before you know it, and you have to, once you clean out the pipes, you'll be all right. And so that's what we're going to go with, is a nice strong 900 or 1,000 gallon per hour pump. So we can, and this is really the heart of the entire system. I mean, when it comes to your aquaponic system, get a good pump. That's the heart of your system. Just like the heart that's beating in your chest, that's exactly the heart of this system, because it's going to cycle the water through the filter. It's going to give it to the plants, and it's going to bring it all the way back to the fish. And this is the heart of the whole system. But so anyway, so there's a little bit of advice and a little bit of talk about how to find a pump for your aquaponic system. And I will talk to you guys later. Grow 'em big.